So in the last class, we started discussing about handling of a frames, and we have seen how to handle a web frame in a web page. Right? How to handle a frame in a web page, that's what we have studied in the yesterday's class. So in continuation with that, what we are doing right now means, in the today's class, I would like to show you how to handle multiple windows. Okay, how to handle multiple windows scenario. Okay, so how can we handle these multiple windows concept? What does it means? What exactly the multiple windows means? Let me show you an application. So I'm trying to log in into my Salesforce application. So I do have an account to a Salesforce app. So I'm trying to log in into that particular account. So let me log in into that to clearly show you that scenario. So whenever you are trying to log in from a different location, usually the Salesforce uses to send certain verification codes just for authentication purpose itself. So I am entering my verification code here. So the objective here, what I am trying to show you is, I'd like to go to accounts, and from that accounts I would like to click on a new, and from that new I would like to click on this icon. Whenever you click on this icon, a magnifying or else a new window got displayed for us. Okay, so a new window got displayed for us. Okay, so from that particular window we can perform any kind of operations. On that particular window we can perform any kind of an operations out over here. So the simple point out over here is that this is a newly opened window. Using a WebDriver program, I would like to perform operations on this window. Okay, using a WebDriver program, I would like to perform operations on this window. So the logic out over here is, how come WebDriver will switch to new window and it will perform operations on that. Okay, how come WebDriver will switch to that and it will perform operations on that and new window? How this is gonna happen? So the simple point how this is gonna happen means, assume that, see, if you observe, I have a two Word documents here. So in which, if at all I would like to perform operations on any specific window, I need to select that window, then only I can perform operations. The same way, here also, if there are multiple windows opened, then we need to ask our WebDriver to switch to a specific window and perform operations on that. Switch to that window and perform operations on that. So it means we need to pass complete WebDriver control from current window to newly opened window. That's what the logic is. Okay, so we need to pass a complete WebDriver control from the current window to that newly opened window. Okay, from that current window to newly open the window. Okay, fine. So the another point out over here is, okay, just by looking into the app, I noticed that the second window got opened. Hence, I will switch to second window and I can perform the operations. But how come the WebDriver will know on which window it needs to perform operations? On which window it needs to perform operations? How come my WebDriver will know? So if you guys remember, in order to handle frames, we use driver.switch to frame concept, right? So in order to switch to frame, driver.switch to frame concept. The same way, in order to handle this window, again I'm gonna use driver.switch to as this is a window, I can use a window command here. Okay, so I can use a window command here. Okay, fine. So the next point of what we need to consider out over here is, okay, so the next point of what we need to consider out over here is, okay, so we can use switch to window command to switch to that particular window, and we can perform operations on that. Okay, so we can perform operations on that. So let's see how this is going to work. So the simple point out over here is, prior going into this one, we know I need to write down a WebDriver program which will navigate to that page in the browser. Okay, I need to write down a program which will navigate to that particular page on a browser. Okay, so fine. Okay, cool. So let's see how this is going to work. So instead of writing a program, okay, instead of writing a program, what I can do out over here means I can record a simple script in IDE and I will convert it into WebDriver program. So let's see how this is going to work. How can I record a simple script in IDE and how can I convert that particular one into a WebDriver program? Let's see this concept now. So here, in order to perform these operations, I'm going for Selenium IDE add-on for Firefox browser. Okay, click on a first link and click on add to Firefox. Automatically this add-on will be installed. Okay, automatically this add-on will be installed. Okay, so next, once this add-on got installed, you can find this add-on on a top right corner here. Click on this one, will open this Selenium IDE window for us. And by default, this Selenium IDE window here is in a recording mode. Okay, so the next point what we need to consider is, perform the desired operations on your browser and check out whether the corresponding commands are recording here or not. Okay, so whether the corresponding commands got recorded here or not. So the next point what we need to consider is enter the credentials. I kept my ID in a recording mode and I am entering my credentials here. Great. I just entered the credentials. Oh, okay. So here some commands will be generated. I just wanna remove those commands. So here the ultimate point is enter the user ID, enter the password, click on a login button and then click on an account, click on a new and click on this magnifying icon. That's it. Okay, so click on this magnifying icon. That's it. Okay, so fine. So the next point is, okay, so the next point is go to Selenium IDE, click on the record button so that it will stop the recording. So it generated a basic script in Selenium IDE. Okay, it generated a basic script in IDE. Now I would like to convert my Selenium IDE script into a WebDriver program. Okay, I would like to convert this Selenium IDE script into a WebDriver program. So how this is going to work? Okay, how this is going to work? How can I convert this IDE program into a WebDriver program? So go to options, again click on an options. Okay, go to options, click on an options. See here, from this general, you can select this, activate developer tools and enable experimental features. These two. Check those two check boxes. Okay, check these two check boxes and click on an OK. Now under the options, under the format, okay, under the options, under the format, okay. So here you can find these many options here. Okay, you can find these many options here. So from there, I'm selecting Java JUnit for WebDriver. Click on this one. So here, the entire Selenium IDE program got converted into a WebDriver program. Okay, the entire Selenium IDE program got converted into a WebDriver program. Okay, fine. Now here, within the Eclipse editor, I'm gonna create a new program for us. So here I'm creating a new class web20. Let me copy the basic code from my previous program. So here I'm creating a main method and I'm opening the app. I copied the code till there and I pasted it out over here. So instead of opening this general application, I would like to open this Salesforce application. So I'm modifying this app URL here. Okay. After that, the next point what we need to consider is whatever the script we have in Selenium IDE, copy it and just paste it out over here. Okay, whatever the code we have in Selenium IDE, just copy that and paste it out over here. That's it. So the simple point is these lines of a code I copied from my Selenium IDE and I pasted this here. Okay, these lines of a code I copied and I pasted it here. Fine. So the another point which we need to consider is okay, so once after we performed this operation, copy and paste, which will navigate me till this pop-up page. Okay, but if you observe the code, after clicking on a login, immediately it is a clicking on an account, immediately it is a clicking on a new. But in the application, whenever it performed a click operation on a login, it will wait for some time. Okay, it will wait for some time. So I got a quick question here. Let me look into that. How do you know that how much code we need to copy from the IDE? The simple thumb rule which we need to know is whatever the logic we have under the @test method, just copy that code only. Okay, so here this is the logic whatever I have under the test. And if you observe, the first command is a get. I know that get will open an application, and even I have already added the get command, so I am not copying from the get command. Okay, so I am not copying from the get command. That's it. Cool. Done up to here. So the ultimate point is, after clicking on a login, web page is taking some time, and after clicking on an account, web page is taking some time. After clicking on a new, again it is taking some time to load the page. If we are asking our WebDriver to directly identify an object, it won't perform any operations. Hence, here what I am doing means driver.manage.timeout.implicit wait 45, and there's a time unit is in seconds. So I am asking it to wait for 45 seconds. Okay, so I am asking it to wait for 45 seconds. That's it. Wait for 45 seconds. And the implicit wait, whatever we have added, is a global wait. It's going to apply for the entire script. It's not going to apply for a single command. The implicit wait, whatever we have added here, is going to apply for the whole commands in the entire test script. It's not going to work for a specific command. It's going to work for all the commands here. Okay, it's going to work for all the commands here. Okay, so here I'm making a comment. Above command will work for all the commands defined within this program. Okay, this will be work for all the commands are defined within this particular program. Fine. So, to cross check whether the recorded script is working or not, I'm just trying to run this script once again. See, this is the script which we have converted. So, below lines of code converted from IDE to WebDriver. So let's see how it works. Okay, so let me run my script and check out the execution. Run as a Java application. So again, it is triggering a verification code which will send to my register email ID. So I am entering this code manually, and followed by the script execution will be taken care by WebDriver. So see, I have copied this code till this particular page. After that, it terminated the browser. So the ultimate point is the recorded script got executed successfully. Okay, so the recorded script got executed successfully till now. So this is the simple option which we have and which we are not using all the time. Okay, so which we are not using all the time. Only in a few scenarios based on the need we can use it. Okay, this is an option, that's it.
Surendra, regarding this timeouts, right? So does it wait 45 seconds for every command, or within the 45 seconds, if the object is available, it's going and perform the operation?
See in detail about this wait command, Vijay. So I will explain
Mm-hmm.
in the next topic. Okay. So just
Okay. Okay.
consider this as a wait which will be applicable for 45 seconds. That's it. Okay. So the
Okay.
significance of a wait and the different kinds of a waits we have to cover that one which I will be explaining. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is the thing basically, and it switches till there. But my logic is I would like to perform some operations on a new window. So the basic operations I would like to perform is right click, inspect element with a firebug. I would like to perform a search operations. But I noticed that this one is in a frame. But the ultimate thing is the whole thing is in a new window. I need to pass my WebDriver control to the new window. So what I am doing means after clicking on this new, I'm waiting for a few seconds, and then what I am doing means I'm using a command, the get window handles command. The significance of this Windows handle is it will get all the windows which are opened by WebDriver. So what are all the windows which are opened by WebDriver? All those windows information will be captured. So that's the reason this command is returning a set of strings, collection of windows information it is getting now. So I'm trying to store it in a string val is equal to, it is stating a message that change a val to set of strings. Okay, change a val to set of strings. That's it. Okay, change a val to set of strings. That's it. Done up to here, guys. Okay, so it contains set of values. Okay, so it contains multiple values here. So what does these are multiple values? So in a pictorial representation, if you observe, it's gonna be like this. A set, this is a set, and we have a first, second in this set. So my intention is I need to get this information from the set. Okay, my intention is I need to get the information from the set. Okay, so how this is going to work? Okay, how this is going to work? So usually whenever we are storing an information either in a list or a set, to get a total values we are using dot size method. Right, we are using a dot size method. So system.out.println total windows are plus val dot size. Okay, plus val dot size. Done up to here. And then the another point is to get all the values we need to use few methods in set. They are, the first one is an iterator which will rotate the set positions in the set of values. And the next one is an has the next method. It will verify whether there is a next value in the set or not. If yes, it will return a true, else a false will be returned. and the last method is a next, which will move to next value in the set. So what I'm doing first now, val dot iterator. So I'm going for an iterator and I'm storing the entire return type in a string now. So here what I can do means I can use, I'm not using any has the next method in the current case. As of now, with this iterator, I asked my script to place the cursor here. Whenever we used a next method here, my cursor will move from here to here. It will get the first information. The same way here, whenever you use a next, it will move from here to here and it will get the next method information. So here, iterator dot next, it's gonna get the first window information. Again, iterator got the next, the second window information got stored here. Both the first and as well as the second window information got stored here. Okay, cool. So the next point is, as of now, complete first window info is here in first variable, and then the second window info, okay, the second info is there in an second variable. Okay, the second window information is there in a second variable. Fine, done up to here, guys. So this is the basic thing. So based on that, we are gonna save this particular info. Fine. Now, in order to switch to window, switch to dot window is a command. I'm passing second variable here, with which we are asking our WebDriver to switch to a window with a name as a second. So whatever the value is there in a second, it will switch to that particular second window. There is the concept of switching to that particular window. Is this point clear for everybody, or do you have any questions for me? How to switch to new window? Guys, am I clear for everybody? To perform this execution, okay, I got a quick question here. Just give me a minute. To perform this execution, compulsory we should use the Salesforce. See, this is the example which I have explained on Salesforce. Whereas for you people, you can try on a different applications. It's not mandatory that you need to use this application. You can try it on a different applications as well. Okay, so fine. Okay, so that's the first scenario, and regarding this one, whatever you asked, so let me show you one application for us. This is an application, and here you have admissions, and click on these admissions, which is opening a new tab. Okay, so this is a scenario for your practice. So I am adding this link. So here, implement this scenario on this application. So navigate to admissions, select first link, which will open a new tab for us. See, the simple point which we need to remember is whenever we click on something, if it opened in a new window or a new tab, this logic is one and the same. Okay, so this logic is one and the same. So we are not going to change our logic here. This logic is going to be one and the same. Okay, so the next point is whenever your application is having these kind of scenarios, if you click on something and if it is opening a new window or a new tab, you can use this get window handles concept and we can ask our WebDriver to switch to that particular window. Okay, fine. Is this point clear for you, Venki? Cool. So this is the another scenario which I have given for your practice, which you need to do from your end. That's the first point. And another thing is, okay, here we asked our WebDriver to switch to that, but we need to check out whether it is a performing operations or not. So right click, inspect element with a firebug. While inspecting, if you clearly observe, it contains this frame. Okay, while inspecting, if you observe, it contains this frame. Okay, so this frame with which we can confirm that we do have a frame inside this particular web page. So inspect element with a firebug, it is having an ID property. After switching to this window, driver.find element by.id dot send keys Ravi 10. And again, here we have a go button. Right click, inspect element with the firebug. It is having a name as a go. Driver.find element by.name dot click. I just want to click on this particular one. That's it. So this is the logic whatever I have written. Let me run my program. But prior that, I noticed that it's there inside a frame. Let's recognize this frame. So here, this is a separate HTML. This is a frame tag and it is having an ID as a search frame. So here, after switching to the window, driver.find element by.id web element fr is equal to, and then driver.switch to frame fr. That's it. So I am asking my WebDriver to switch to this particular frame fr and then perform these operations. Let me run this script as a Java application. So again it will trigger a verification code. Let me get that code. So it might take a couple of seconds to receive that. Okay. Enter this. See the browser. It's navigating. And it entered a Ravi 10, it performed the search operation and it terminated the browser. That's it. So the ultimate point is whenever you are using a quit command or else it will terminate all the browser instances and a switch to window command is switching to the previous window. In some scenarios usually a simple question will rise in our mind, how can I switch back to my original or a first window? How to switch to my first window again? So we can use switch to dot window dot first or driver dot switch to dot default content. Either these two commands we can use in order to switch to the previous window. In order to perform an operation back on a previous window, we can use this switch to window concept, either first or a default content we are using to switch back to the first window itself. Fine. Done up to here, guys. So this is the most important thing which we need to remember about multiple windows. Am I clear for everyone? Or do you have any questions for me on this? How to switch to a window and the scenario which you people need to do practice from your end. Okay, so let me open this the app on a Firefox browser too and see. I just opened this URL and admissions. See, as of now it's opening on a new tab, whereas you can while working on a program automatically it will open a new window. The reason is basically information which is opening on a new tab is just customization, right? Or setting browser settings from our end. So whenever you updated a browser tab settings, whenever you click on a new link in order to open a new window or else a new tab, we have specified such things in a browser settings. So you don't need to bother about that. If something is opening on a new window or new tab, this logic is common. That's it. This logic is common in order to handle the whole bunch. Great. Done up to here. And then the another scenario is, I want to make mine trade. So I'm trying to open this amorites.com. Okay, I'm just trying to open this amorites.com here to show you another scenario. Let it load. So the another kind of a scenario I would like to show you here is about hovering of a mouse. Mouse hovering. So, okay, so whenever you mouse over on this loyalty, some kind of an information is displaying. Whenever you are hovering mouse on your manage, some kind of a information is displaying. Book, some info is displaying like that. Whenever you perform a mouse over operation, some kind of an info is getting displayed. Okay, so how to handle this one? So using an actions class we can handle this one. So now I'm creating a new class here. Let me create a new class in my editor. New class web21. Okay, so copy the basic code first of all. Copy the basic code and update it here. Change the app URL. Update that URL here. That's it. I just updated my URL and everything here. And now once this got updated, okay, so once this got updated, the next point here is I would like to hover my mouse on where we fly. Right click, inspect element with a firebug. So here it is stating it as class and data link where we fly something information is displaying. To cross-check a clear-cut property, right-click on this object. See, it is starting with a tag name as a. So it means we can identify it as a link text. So what I'm doing means driver.find element by.link text. I'm creating a web element des. I just created a web element. Now I'm creating an object to my actions class is equal to new actions of a driver, and later a dot I'm using a command which is move to element, and I'm using dest dot build dot perform, and after that at last the last two lines of a command is one and the same, which is a thread dot sleep. So I added a thread dot sleep. When I run my script as a Java application and see how this is gonna work. Okay, cool. So once this application got loaded, it should hover the mouse on where we fly. Okay, it should hover the mouse on where we fly. Let's see this one, how this is gonna work. It's taking some time to load the app. Okay, so move to element. We have given this a move to element. Let's see why it is not executing. Okay, it failed, stating that unable to locate that no such element exception. Okay, it's stating a message as a no such element found exception. Fine. So my WebDriver program was unable to identify it as a link. So I'm going to fire path. I'm trying to get the XPath for these objects and directly change this web element to, instead of a link text, change it to XPath, pass this XPath. Now run the script as a Java application. Okay, fine. Cool. It performed a mouse over and it terminated the browser. Okay. So this is the way move to element is a command which we are using in order to perform any kind of mouse overing operations. Okay, move to element is a command which we are using in order to perform a mouse overing operation on this particular application. Okay, and then the next small scenario for your practice, what I'm giving out over here is this sortable application. So this is the scenario for your practice. So what you need to do means you need to perform this sort operation from here to here. So right click. What I am doing right now means I just opened my Selenium IDE and I am moving back my IDE into an HTML format. Okay, and here right click on a first object, show all available commands, assert element present. Right click on a fifth object, show all available commands, assert element present. Let's see the difference between these object properties here. This is an XPath and this is an XPath 2. So the XPath here is one and the same. So let me identify this one in a fire path now. So get the XPath for this object. Cool. So now I'm creating another scenario for you. So here web 22. This is gonna be on a sortable. Copy the URL and update it here. And the first object XPath is this one. So here I'm naming it as an element 1, and here is an XPath. The same way, copy the destination XPath like this, element 4. So this is another XPath. So here web element 2, I am updating that XPath here. So here my objective is I would like to scroll this one and drop it here. So I'm using a dot click and hold on a web element 1 and move to element 2 dot build dot perform. See, what I am doing means I am asking my WebDriver to click and hold of a first object and move that object to a second object and finally terminate the browser. Okay, finally terminate the browser. Run as a Java application. It's getting executed. Let's see how this is going to work. So it should perform these click and hold operations. Okay, so my script will fail in this scenario, guys. The reason is I forgot to add the frame concept here. We know that these objects are there inside a frame. To work on this one, we need to write down a WebDriver program to switch to the frame. Here this code doesn't contain the frame, that's the reason it got a fail. So I added a switch to frame concept here. Okay, I added a switch to frame concept, and now let me rerun this program. It's getting executed and it will switch to the frame. See here, it changed that. The one got a here and it performed that operation and it terminated the browser. Okay, it performed that operation and it terminated the browser. That's it. This is the way how can we perform these operations. Okay guys, am I clear for everybody with this example? Do you have any questions for me on this? Pankaj, Vijay, Sirisha, everyone.
Yeah, Surendra, I have a question regarding the switch to, right? So yesterday, I think, yeah, I don't know, I've forgotten the statement maybe. When we switch to the frame and we perform some operation, and after next time trying to perform an object which is outside of that frame. So again, we have to come out of that frame, or
Say,
how to continue.
switch to default contents would be one and the same. This will be applicable for both the windows and as well as the frames.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you just need to switch back. That's it, nothing more than that. Okay, fine. So done up to here, this is the basic concept. And another small concept which I would like to show you here is I would like to run my test script on a Chrome browser this time. Web 23 with a main method, and I'm trying to write down my script on a Chrome browser. Chrome driver. driver.get, and I would like to open a bing.com application. On the Chrome browser, I would like to open this bing.com. But I know that whenever we are working on a Chrome browser, I need to set the property for webdriver.chrome.driver, and it's gonna be here in drivers.chromedriver.exe location. That's it. And now after that, on a bing.com application, I would like to perform a right click on this text search button. So inspect element, it is having an ID property. So I'm creating a web element dd is equal to driver.find element by.id, and now I would like to perform a right click operation, hence I'm using an actions class. Actions space a is equal to new actions, a dot context click is a command which we are using to perform a right click operation on a desired object. Context click is a command which we are using in order to perform a right click operation. Now let me rerun this program. Okay, after adding this context click, let me rerun this program. It's getting executed, and it should perform a right click operation on that particular search button. That's it. It performed that. So this is the way how can we handle these operations. Okay, so this is the way how can we handle these operations. Fine. Done up to here, guys. And here in the current scenario, we used get a Windows handle command, using which we captured multiple Windows information. We can use a get a window handle command also. Like in the previous scripts, here we use a get window handles command. So which is capturing all the Windows information, right? So even we can use a get a window handle, to get current window information. Okay, so in order to get the current window information, as it is gonna get a single window information, it's a string itself. It's not gonna be written on multiple objects. Okay, fine. Cool. Done up to here. Great. So once we are done up to here, okay, so once we are done up to here, these are all the various kinds of concepts whatever we have in an actions class. So in the tomorrow's class, we are going to start discussing about alerts handling. How can you handle any kind of an alert, pop-up, all these information, we are going to perform these things. Some kind of a third party tools and everything we are going to study in our tomorrow's class. Okay, so auto IT, robot class, how can we handle these things we are going to study in our tomorrow's class. So attend the session without a fail. Okay, so tomorrow attend the session without fail.
Show us once again. And how we are capturing the XPath from the Selenium IDE.
The simple point out over here, what we need to understand is that in order to use this IDE, we need to install that. Okay, we need to install that add-on to our Firefox browser. Okay, so what I'm doing right now means, so as requested, explaining IDE stuff from today's class. Okay, let me make a heading for this one too. Okay, so here we need to install this IDE. So open the Firefox browser, search for Selenium IDE add-on for Firefox. That's it. Just search for this. From the search results, click on a first link, and from here click on this add to Firefox. It will take some see, I clicked on an add to Firefox and it will ask you to allow, and it will display an install button. Just click on an install, automatically IDE will be installed. Okay, automatically the Selenium IDE will be installed. Okay, fine. Okay, so fine. So the next point here is, after this one, okay, once after we have a specified up to here, so the next one is, once after you install your IDE, you can find this IDE icon on a top right corner, click on that. Whenever you open Selenium IDE, by default it's gonna be on a record mode. If not, here you can find a red color button. So just click on that, which will be in a highlighting mode, which is stating that your Selenium IDE is in a recording mode. Go to the browser and perform any operations. So here I am entering Surendra Jagannatham. Okay, so here the search results are got displayed for me. Okay, so the search results are got displayed for me. So this is how my search results are got displayed. So if you go back, the Selenium IDE is capturing the script. Whenever it is in a recording mode, it is gonna capture the entire test script for the actions whatever we are performing in a browser. Now go to options, again options, select these two radio check boxes. One is activate developer tools, enable experimental features, click on OK button. Now under the options, under the formats you can find, okay, under the formats you can find these many formats. Okay, and from here you can find a Java JUnit 4 WebDriver. Select that one. Automatically it will convert your code into a WebDriver program with the JUnit annotations. So in this case we don't know anything about a JUnit. The thumb rule is copy the content of whatever we have under @test. Okay, copy the content of whatever we have under the st. Okay, okay, copy the content of whatever we have under the @test. Okay, fine. Is this point clear for everybody?
Yes.
Cool. So this is the thing, how can we do that? And how can you handle or else generate object properties means I'm switching back to HTML, which will be resetting to my Selenium IDE default view. To identify any object properties in IDE, open that IDE first, right click on a desired object, show all available commands, select assert element present. See here, I am clicking on Surendra Jagannatham LinkedIn link, show all available commands, from where I am clicking on this assert element present. So if you go back here, a link got generated. In the target it is displaying a drop down which contains all these information. Okay, in the target it contains a drop down. Okay, so it will display this information. Okay, fine. Done up to here, guys. Okay, great. So once we are done, you can copy these properties and you can use it in your program. That's it. So this is the way how can we handle this concept. Okay, so this is the way how can we handle this particular concept. Am I clear for you, everybody?
Yeah, but
So this is the way how can we handle all these concepts. Great. So that's all I have for the today, guys. See, what is your issue, Venkat?
Yes, sir. So actually, here when I'm executing,
Sorry?
I'm not getting here when I'm executing, I'm not getting the output over here.
Okay. Can you please run it once?
Yeah.
So is it launching the browser or it's not launching the browser too?
No, it's launching the browser, but I'm not getting the output, exact output. The names over here.
Okay, let's see. So still it needs to launch a browser.
I'm getting for all others like except 1, 2, and 3. I'm getting all of them.
See, seems like your browser is upgrading. I think your script will fail again.
Oh,
Okay, so while installing, make sure that you are just that so you have certain options, right? Whenever we are installing a browser, turn off the auto upgrades of this browser. Okay, so you can't stop it. It will install all the updates. Okay, try to move this one, or else instead of working on this Firefox browser, change this one to
yeah,
Chrome browser and try to run it on a Chrome browser. See, as you are having issues with the Firefox browser, directly change this script to Chrome and run it on a Chrome browser.
yeah, but I, f- I feel good in Firefox. That's why. So like finally, you can see my screen, right?
Yeah, I think your script got failed. So if you go back, your
Oh,
script got a fail. So it launched a browser, but the script got a fail. Okay? So the only problem out over here is that just you need to try to run the same